hate to be the one to break it to you. I really do, but your online D&D game, yeah, it's a mess. It's not as fun as it should be. Your players don't seem super excited all the time. And you know it, you've felt this way for some time. The sad truth is that your online D&D game is broken. The good news, however, is that it maybe isn't your fault. You see, playing D&D online just isn't as fun as playing it in person. It's just the way things are. However, if online play is all you got, there is still hope, because today I'll give you 12 tips for improving your online D&D game. Oh, give us those 12 tips. Number 1, have your cameras on. Be able to see each other's faces. Dude, I can't explain it to you. I don't know how or why, but I can tell you that it makes a huge difference for engagement and keeping people interested when you can all see each other. It just does. It also makes it way easier for the dungeon master to run the game. Like when I can see my players, I can read the table better. I can see if somebody appears to be getting disinterested or distracted. I can see if somebody isn't having a lot of fun just by looking at their face. And that gives me valuable feedback that allows me to adjust my game and make it more fun for them. Hopefully. Webcams are like $30 or something. And if you don't have a webcam, guess what you do have? You got a phone. You can do it right here. Everybody has one of these. Like, I'm too poor to have a $30 webcam, but I can have a $600 phone. I don't understand how our society got to that point, but it is what it is. Number 2, use voice chat, not text to play. I mean, there are some people that play live by just typing at each other, and you just have this text chat, like a Discord text chat, just and that's how they play. Now, I've played play by post before, where you literally make a post, wait a day or two, and then other people make posts, and you're responding to their posts. Like, that's a different beast. But playing live by typing? If you have to, if you have no other options, totally understand that. But if you can at least talk to each other over your phones, over Discord group chat, which is free, it's gonna make your game better. Trust me, you wanna hear each other's voices. It's so much better, it is faster, and I can only begin to imagine the utter confusion that is one massive stream of people typing, and the poor dungeon master trying to make sense out of it and adjudicate and run the game. Like, wow, it's possible groups who do that have certain conventions in place to actually make it manageable. I would imagine they would have to. Anyway, talking is faster than typing, making the game more efficient and less boggy and run more smoothly. And you could also limit cross-chatter and side conversations, which helps keep people focused on the game and not get lost and then ask for you to re-explain everything that just happened in the last 5 minutes. Of course, I guess you could be on voice and also be like sending messages to other people and stuff. So, maybe that's a wash. Number 3, use better narrative descriptions. Narrative descriptions when you're describing what a room looks like, what the monster looks like, what's happening in combat, when you're describing things. When you're online playing the game, most people have other monitors or phones and stuff, and it's super easy for them to get distracted. So the more interesting and descriptive you can make your narrations, the better chance you have of holding their interest and keeping them engaged in your game. Now, maybe narrative descriptions aren't your thing. Maybe you're just not good at them. Maybe no matter how hard you try, your descriptions just suck. Don't go cry off in a corner just yet, because we do have a solution for you. Because with Describe, you can get professionally written box text that you can either read or paraphrase to your players. Look at me, slipping in that sleazy old plug. I mean, you didn't even see it coming, did you? But seriously, Describe is great, and thousands of game masters and players use it to make their online RPG games more fun and exciting. Describe has more than just eloquently written narrative descriptions, too. For instance, check out their Cartographer collection, where you can get amazing maps for your online games, such as Harvest Throne and Fairy Portal. But they aren't just maps. They are interactive maps that come with narrative descriptions for different areas and features. You can grab one of these maps, design a dungeon around it, and a good chunk of your work is already done for you. Check out Describe at the link below and use the discount code TheDMLair for 10% off your first purchase. Number 4, use technology to its fullest. You're using a virtual tabletop, aren't you? Most people who play online do, Roll20, Fantasy Grounds, Foundry VTT. It's literally got virtual tabletop in the name. So learn what it can do and take advantage of it. Keep track of your modifiers, your concentration rolls, spell duration, anything and everything that you can get it to do to make your life easier as a game master and make the game more enjoyable and immersive for the players, such as music for ambiance, ambient soundscapes, and that sort of thing. And do things like have cool tokens on there as well. Use colorful and interesting maps. Show off artwork of the NPCs, the heroes, cool items and cities. A picture is worth 1,000 words, they say. And you could use random images off the internet or custom designed art that you have commissioned, which gets really expensive, trust me. But you could do it if you wanted to. Number 5, resolve technology issues before the game. I am so sick of it's like, well, I don't know what's going on. My dice won't roll. I don't know what's going on. My video's not working. I don't know what's going on. My microphone doesn't work. Like, I literally, before I run any online games, I send the players very specific instructions of what to do to prepare for the game. And one of them is literally make sure all of your stuff is working before the game begins. It usually still happens that there's like a person whose stuff isn't working. And I don't blame them. A lot of times they tell me they've already tried to fix it and it just suddenly just crashes. And I believe them because, technology tends to do that. But my point is, the more you can resolve those issues beforehand, it's going to make your game more enjoyable. It's going to stop it from bogging down. It's going to stop you from feeling frustrated and upset because stupid junk and Roll20 is not working. I mean, stupid junk and Roll20 is frequently not working or bogged down. Did I mention that I prefer playing in person? Actually, I did a poll some time ago, not too long ago actually, and over 90% of people say they prefer playing in person and it is way more fun. Just throwing that out there for you. Number 6, lose technology if it's getting in the way. I mean, this happens in my games. Like, I've mentioned how I'll run games and then somebody will show up and something's not working. Like, a classic problem is the dice they roll from D&D Beyond is not showing up in Roll20, even though they have the proper add-on installed in Chrome. And so I tell them, that's not a big deal. You have physical dice. Just roll the physical dice and tell me what you get. And could they cheat? Sure, I suppose they could. But hey, I'd rather actually be able to play the game than sit there and try to resolve their dice not rolling online for like 20 minutes. I suppose that would be like a really convenient excuse for someone who wanted to cheat to be able to cheat and just be like, it's not working. I don't know what's going on. Oh, I shouldn't be giving these sorts of ideas to people. Not that you would do that, of course. Number 7, don't neglect relationship building. So one of the things that happens when you're playing in person is that before the game actually starts, people are getting around, sitting at the table, getting their stuff set up. Well, there's this bullcrapping that goes on at the table. People are talking about just random in-life stuff. Somebody's got a new game system, the Oculus virtual reality system, and they're talking about it and all this stuff. And when you're doing this, and you're bullcrapping back and forth for 5-15 minutes, something happens. You start to build deeper relationships. You start to build deeper friendships. You get to know each other better. And all of that transfers over into the D&D game and makes your game slightly more enjoyable every time. It's this building of camaraderie together. I don't know all of the scientific reasons of why it works and how, but it is the thing. So when you're playing online, it is super, super easy to just jump right in, start the D&D, do your recap, and get going. My suggestion to you is that instead of doing that, allow your players 5 to 15 minutes to joke around and talk about things. And if they're being really quiet because maybe they don't know each other that well, you as the game master can have icebreakers and other conversation starters to get things rolling. Ask players about something that they mentioned that they like to do in their free time, about their hobbies and things like that. One of your players lives in Alaska. Ask him how Alaska is this time of the year. It doesn't matter what it is. Just get some banter, get some talking going so that you can start building those deeper relationships. You see, because relationships, camaraderie, and all of that kind of good stuff are hallmarks of in-person D&D. So we need to allow it to happen online as well. Now, there need to be limits, of course. A little bit of time before the game session, after the game session, and then maybe when you have your pizza break, your mandatory pizza break. All D&D games must have pizza breaks, and if you don't, you're probably doing it wrong. So in those certain time frames, some bullcrapping, catching up and talking about stuff. But of course, outside of those times, D&D should be happening. As a quick reminder, if you're enjoying all the amazing, mind-blowing advice that I'm giving you, give this video a thumbs up and leave a comment for the algorithm down below. Let me know how far into the game session you usually take your pizza break. We tend to take ours at the very beginning because we just can't wait. Number 8. Buy and use pre-made maps. I'm gonna tell you, one of my #1 frustrations of having to run D&D online is making maps. It's so frustrating to me that I don't do it anymore. Now that doesn't mean that I don't have cool, awesome maps. I do, but I do one of two things. Number 1, I specifically pay people to make the maps that I need for my games. Now, many people probably don't have the money floating around to commission a very specific map for your special, precious adventure, and I get that. And that's cool, which is why there are pre-made maps that you can buy that are available on different people's stores, that are available on Patreon, and I highly encourage you to take advantage of that. For instance, for the DM Lair Patreon, every single month we have a map pack that DM Lair patrons get. You can take these maps and you can use them in your games. Obviously, that's what they're for. But one thing that you can do too that I think is possibly overlooked as a method for designing adventures is taking a pre-existing map of a dungeon, for instance, and designing your adventure around that map. So instead of coming up with an idea for an adventure, writing the adventure first, or maybe handcrafting a map specifically for your adventure, you instead start with the map, and then you craft your adventure around that map. I do this a lot. I have writers that write for Lair magazine that do this all the time as well, and it works super, super well. I have found in things like this that sometimes absolute freedom is an impediment. And having some constraints, having some walls around what you're trying to do actually liberates you. It's kind of like, doesn't make intuitive sense, but I have discovered it to be the case. Number 9, forget about dynamic lighting. Use fog of war. This is like a very specific mention because of how much dynamic lighting in Roll20 sucks. Like, you turn off dynamic lighting and use fog of war instead, and everybody's computer performance improves. Roll20 stops bogging down and is way better and easier for you. And you know, you don't have to put dynamic lighting in your maps when you're getting ready for your game. So it's like a win-win all around. Yeah, that's right. I made a specific point here to knock Roll20 because of their stupid dynamic lighting performance issues. Number 10, organize your game space. This is going to be personalized for you, but your game space where you run your online game, get it set up in a way that makes it efficient and effective for you to run your game. I have 2 monitors. The right monitor has the Zoom video and Roll20. The left monitor has all of the things that I referenced during the game. So you have OneNote up there and a bunch of screens of D&D Beyond, so I can find monsters and spells and that sort of thing. And then off to my left or to my right, depending on where my dog happens to be at the time, I have a small table that holds a bunch of D&D books because there's not enough space on my desk. Because on my desk, I have a physical dice tray with dice in it, just in case I need to roll physical dice, and I have a bunch of other notes that I print off. And because I keep things organized in the same way every single time, it makes running the game more efficient. And I have a consistent setup when I play in person as well for the exact same reasons. Number 11, address players directly. There tends to be this disconnect when you're playing online and you're just seeing people on video as opposed to actually being in person. I mean, it's very, very hard to make direct eye contact with any given player when it's over video, because they all think that you're looking directly at them, or that you're not. So instead of saying, okay guys, what do you all do? Ask John. John, what do you do? Also, online players can tend to be quieter and not speak up, and doing so can be harder with voice chat when there are a couple players who tend to dominate the conversation. I think that in person, it's a little bit easier to get a word in edgewise, but when you're playing online over video and voice chat, and there's delays and all of this kind of stuff happening, it is harder to get a word in. So this is why it's super important for the Dungeon Master to run through and make sure all of the players can talk and get their turn in non-combat situations. Number 12, run shorter game sessions. Dude, when we're playing in person, like, we can play forever. Like, our standard game session lasts 6 hours, and I have played, is it 6 hours? 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. No, it's 5 hours. I exaggerated. But our game sessions used to be 8 hours. We would get together at 4 p.m. and play until midnight. In person, it's amazing. You can just keep on playing. But because online games are not as engaging and not quite as much fun, attention can start to wane. So, shorter sessions are fine. Don't hesitate to run a shorter game session if it allows your players to leave having a sense of fun and anticipation and looking forward to the next game. What you don't want to do is have your game drag on too long where everybody's getting bored and distracted and wants it to be over and then ending on that negative note. You want to end on a positive note when they're excited and they want the next game session to come, not when they're bored and want it to just all end, for the love of God. Click on the screen now to learn about 10 ways Dungeon Masters ruin their own games, or to back my Layers and Legends Kickstarter, which is live now. And until next time, eat lots of bacon-covered pizza during your D&D games. It is the only way to play.